you know, in my head right now, I can't stop humming the Moon Knight theme. In my head, it's just
I know you
spinning
just finished
round.
watching it. Hey, I haven't seen it, so don't spoil anything.
Han Solo dies.
Oh, Troy! Sick of it!
I'm sorry, man. You know what? If you haven't watched it by the time you come on this podcast, it's your fault, okay? You have a responsibility to yourself to watch it. You're in Aussie land, mate. I had to get up to watch it at 8 a.m. For you, it was like, what? 3 p.m? Something like that? No, 5 p.m.
I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Oh,
That's it.
Listen to this little baby crying. He didn't watch Moon Knight, and now he's been spoiled that Han Solo dies. It's crazy.
Oh, stop mentioning it!
For the audio listeners, he has left the room. So welcome to a new episode of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Apparently, it's going to be a solo episode today. So get ready for an hour of monologuing. That'll be a fun time. That'll be a really fun time. He really has completely vanished. Oh no, he's coming back. I almost got excited then. I almost thought, oh, I'd finally have rid of him. But sadly not. Can never quite get rid of Crispy Pro.
Wait, Han Solo's in Star Wars.
Oh, no way. That's crazy. And we're in Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Roll the intro.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. A podcast where two WhoTubers get together and talk about the best show in all of time and space, Doctor Who. I'm your host, Crispy Pro, and joining me, as always, is one of my favourite people, Troy, Red Archer Live. How are you?
That is far too nice to me after all the banter we just had before this recording.
I know. I thought you'd like the little juxtaposition there, mate.
Unintentionally cut you off doing the intro about 3 times, then you went to record it and screwed it up. It's very funny. This is like the 5th attempt to do the intro. And this is the one we're going with.
But we made it.
I just elbowed myself.
Oh my gosh. What a
great
flying start we are getting to.
Flying start, mate. It's almost like we're taking
off
off in the TARDIS.
What are we talking about today? What are we talking about today, Troy?
It's your plan. It's your what is your
my
podcast plan? You know, what are we talking about today? You're the intro boy. Handle the intro. Come on.
This is me handling the intro. You ready? You ready for this?
Go on.
Today, we are talking about a little series that came out in 2005. Series 1 of Doctor Who. The reboot.
God, why did you
the
call it that?
rebrand. Why? I love calling it Doctor Who. I called it that in my newest video.
I don't.
Okay.
You didn't. You did not call it that.
I did, and you can comment with the time,
Viewers
with the time
and listeners
code saying
right now. Okay, the poll probably isn't.
Gosh.
Actually, do you know what? That's the poll. I normally decide on the poll while I'm editing. This time, I've got it nailed right now. Vote in the poll below on Spotify or tell me on YouTube comments. Is Doctor Who allowed? Can you say that, or is it you say Doctor Who?
I say it is.
I don't mind Doctor Who.
I never want to see it in the show. Never want to see it in the show.
Imagine if Dan was like, right, Docky, like he's not. I don't like
Dan
it.
could probably get away with it. Dan would probably get away with it.
And you know what? Dan is the purest person in this world. He is a Scouse king, but he could not get away with calling her Docky.
All right.
So
that's
vote in the poll.
Here
is
nor
Doctor
there.
Who allowed
vote in
or
the
not?
poll.
Yeah.
Vote in the poll, but no, if you vote against it, then you have lost my
then you
respect.
Have good taste.
No, I'm kidding.
Whose respect do you want? Probably Crispy.
Yeah,
he's the
exactly.
YouTuber, so
exactly.
Yeah.
No, you're a YouTuber, mate.
I like how you called us both YouTubers.
Honorary.
I appreciate that.
Honorary. Yeah,
honorary. Okay. All right.
Honorary YouTuber. There's a few
this channel
trials you have
nearly
to go
has
through.
more subs now than my Doctor Who style channel.
That's my goal.
So,
that's been my goal from the start.
I can't believe this. I can't.
I can't believe you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. So yes, we are talking about Series 1 today. It's a very, very good time. I'm going to be talking about the very first series of the Doctor Who reboot. We've got a little bit of news to talk about that Crispy is going to handle in a minute, but because we've got podcasts with a plan, we're trying to do a format here and get things to work. We're going to read out some Q&A responses from last week because, wow, y'all went to town on the Q&A on Spotify this time. We made a joke last episode that nobody responded to the Q&A, and this time we got 11 responses. We can only pin up to 10.
Well played, everyone.
We've got more than we can pin. Can we have that every week? That'd be really nice. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it.
That's the goal.
And also, as another side note, I believe, if I double check the YouTube stats, that the Centenary Legend of the Sea Devils episode might now be the most viewed episode of the podcast.
No way.
I'm gonna just check this right now. If it's
I don't think so.
It's almost there. It's almost there at the very least.
I think our pilot episode is in front.
Let's see. The pilot has 653 views.
Oh my gosh.
Episode 9 has 610. It's catching up. It is catching up. That might well overtake it. That's crazy. That is crazy. And also, thank you for all the love on last week's episode. It's good. It had some really good interaction. We really appreciate it, especially talking about Morbius. Morbius.
The best film.
So before we lead into the news, we're gonna read a couple of Q&As. Actually, no, we'll do the news and then we'll read out the Q&As because that's a good way to kind of segue into the Series 1 discussion. But before we do the news, let's talk about what next week's episode is going to be, so you know ahead of time, because you can see a Spotify Q&A already, but the YouTube commenters and everyone else listening on every other platform, like Apple, you enjoying those video podcasts, Apple? Brought that joke back.
It's the same joke. It's the same joke.
It's not even funny anymore, but I still say it. It's basically my whole career in a nutshell. But next week, we are going to be talking about our favourite episodes of Doctor Who. No doubt, like the cliffhangers, it's going to be a case of we won't be able to talk about all of our favourite episodes because we won't get through it. There's absolutely no way. But I think we'll probably do a second episode of the favourite cliffhangers sometime soon anyway, because there were way more cliffhangers to talk about. But next week is going to be favourite episodes, so we want you to let us know via the Q&A down below on Spotify or in the YouTube comments, anywhere else, Twitter and Instagram at Who's There DW. I'm actually posting on the Instagram now. I finally started. Go and follow the Instagram at Who's There DW. Good. Yeah, I know, it was good that. I literally did a post of all really 9 episodes that I'd uploaded in the time since I last used the Instagram.
It was really beautiful.
Go watch all of them. Go, yeah. Graphic design is my passion, bro. Graphic design is my passion. But let us know down below in the Q&A or the comments, what are your favourite episodes of Doctor Who? It can be 1, 2, 3, however many. I think there's a limit for the amount of text you can use in the Spotify Q&A, so try and keep it brief-ish. But if you can, provide a reason for the episode you pick. You know?
Yeah.
You could go Spyfall, but say why? Because Sasha Dewan. Valid answer.
And can I just make a point? If there is someone out there listening to this, and In the Forest of the Night is your genuine favorite episode, I want to see your justification.
It's not humanly
I want to see your justification.
I
want to see your justification. I want to see some references. I want an introduction and a conclusion, but try and fit within Spotify's limits. Thank you.
I know my mum's favourite episode of Doctor Who, and everyone would not... People would be like, are you kidding me? There's no way that's your favourite episode.
Please say it's not Fear Her.
It's not Fear Her. It's not Fear Her. But I'm not going to tell you what it is, because that's to be saved for next week.
Save it for next week. Oh, that's a nice little cliffhanger.
Yeah,
as it were. Right, read out some responses, Troy. Read out some responses.
No, you do the news first, and then we'll do the responses because that can segue in. Yeah, talk about, because it's only, well, to be fair, it's not news. It's news we should have talked about last week and forgot because we have podcasts with a plan here. We finger on the pulse. We know this stuff.
Finger on the pulse. Yeah, finger on the pulse.
Take it away, Crispy.
As of time of recording right now, there has not been much news. However, we were supposed to bring this up last week, but it's pretty major and it's very exciting for both Troy and myself. I was not expecting this news to happen within the Jodie Whittaker era, if I'm perfectly honest.
Especially, it happened after the episode where we said they can't do anything with this era.
They can't do anything, exactly. And I was like, oh, wait, apparently they can. So Joe Martin and Sasha Dewan are getting their own Big Finish audios, which is huge. Which is massive. I was like, whoa, hang on a second. So that's pretty exciting. I don't know when exactly they are due to be released. Let me just have a quick squiz here. I don't think that says anything yet. But
he's having a squiz. That's a technical term.
I'm having an absolute squiz. Yeah, I don't think there is an official release date yet. But Sasha
it probably
Dewan's
will be post Jodie era, to be fair.
Yeah, it probably will be.
Yeah, because Christopher Eccleston's, that was a while for a turnaround. His was announced in August 2020, and then I think they started coming out in early 2021.
Yeah,
there probably is going to be a bit of a time for a turnaround on it. So it might well be they'll come out after the centenary. So it will be post Jodie era in a way, you know.
Some extra material for us.
I can't believe that's even a discussion to have post Jodie era. That's so close now.
Oh, I know, it's weird. I'm very strange. About it.
I'm not.
It's very strange.
I can't wait till the centenary special of this podcast where I'm just crying for an hour. Because I probably will be.
It's just me consoling you.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. It genuinely will be. But yeah, so those audio dramas have been announced. It's very, very cool. And we'll look forward to
go and check them out.
Seeing what comes out from them. But let's move in immediately and talk about Doctor Who Series 1. So to segue us in, let's read a few comments from the listeners and the viewers. I probably should get some YouTube comments up as well. I'll get those up in the sideline and have a little look and see if there's any we can talk about there as well. But for our audio commenters, my English is amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. Our first comment I'm going to read out comes from Arlu, who says, as a person who hasn't seen Classic Who, I thought that Series 1 was a really good intro into the Whoniverse. The characters were interesting and relatable, and the whole story setup was expertly thought through.
Very well said.
We have very, very well-spoken listeners, don't we, Mr. Crispy?
Yes, they are very, very well-spoken indeed.
I mean,
yes.
Listen to this amazing comment from Minyu Sitch, who said, Series 1 is almost perfect. There are no episodes I don't enjoy, and The Empty Child the Doctor Dances is still one of the best stories in the history of the show.
I agree. I
It's a
agree,
very,
and I will
very
be talking
good-
about that.
Yes, it is. Some actual thespian descriptions here. Very, very
Oh,
long
I'm
and
loving this.
detailed and describing very well. My personal favourite comes from Arthur Botley, who said quite simply,
yes.
the Slitheen should return. I agree.
Wow.
I agree.
What a beautiful sentence that
Yes,
Troy very
that was
much
a bit.
enjoys.
I was building up just to that. I was building up to finish off reading a few responses with that, because as soon as I saw literally the Slitheen should return, that was the first comment I pinned. I was like, yes, they should. Get it pinned. Let's go. And that's why
that's
that's
so
the thumbnail.
funny.
The YouTube people have seen the thumbnail. It's a good thumbnail. It's a good thumbnail.
Yeah,
We haven't actually
everyone
haven't taken the
enjoyed.
pictures for it yet, so I'm hoping it turns out well. But I'm going to presume it's a good thumbnail because it just, our thumbnail game is getting good. We're getting strong with the thumbnail game.
That thumbnail game is good.
It's getting good. The problem is now we started doing these edits with like the regeneration and the Morbius teeth and stuff. We won't be able to have a normal thumbnail again because it'll be too boring.
No, too
So
boring.
I don't know how we're going to do
Podcast
this.
with a
going
plan,
forward.
baby. That's all
podcast
right. We
with a
got
plan.
it. We got it. Podcast with a plan.
Gonna ring up Paul. He's on the graphics department now. He's actually changed jobs.
Yes.
He can arrange what the thumbnail's going to be looking like for best episodes next week.
I'm so proud of Paul. He's going up in the world.
He is. And also, just as a little tiny segue, before we just talk about Series 1 specifically, because I want to mention this, I want to shout this person out, because this was a really nice surprise. Shout out, hopefully I can say his full name, because he emailed us? I'll just say Joseph. I won't give his full name because he doesn't want us to like dox him or something. Or Joseph R. We'll do that. Joseph R. He sent an email last night to our podcast email, which I don't believe we've shared publicly. So I'm not entirely sure how he got hold of it.
Is it not connected to the YouTube channel at all?
That could be it. Because I was wondering,
for business
the first thing I thought
inquiries?
was, how has he got our email? How has he done this? Is it? Yep. The email is there. The email is there on the YouTube channel. Well, do you want to shout out the email now?
Guys. Yeah, feel free to email.
We could pretend like this is
Yeah.
a podcast from 2002, where the only way people could get in touch was through emails.
Yeah, no, do it. Just do it.
Well, our email address, if you want to get in contact, is redcrispypro@gmail.com. So just think crispy pro with red at the start of it at gmail.com. All lowercase, all one word, no kind of like space or anything like that. It'll be on screen for the video versions. Feel free to drop us an email if you want to send us a longer message and let us know what you think of the podcast. But Joseph R., just shout out because he literally sent us the biggest Doctor Who drinking game in existence.
What are you trying to say, Joseph? What are you trying to say, mate?
He said let me read a little bit about, after all the talk of podcast drinking games, it reminded me of a Doctor Who drinking game that my partner and I came up with a few years ago. We were young and reckless, so please don't judge. We no longer do the shots. As we made our way through the later series, we slowly added more rules and it got very elaborate, so let me know what you think. And literally there are about 12 different rules for just the base, which, I've said we should do an episode where maybe we do a drinking game. This would involve us actually watching an episode while we do it. So maybe we could do like a bonus thing or something, or we could do a live stream on the podcast channel.
Live stream or something.
Watch an episode and get drunk.
I like that.
That'd be great.
I really like that.
We wouldn't be able to show the episode because obviously copyright, but we could set it up and start a timer and be like, anyone who joins in can then hop in and move the timer to where we're up to.
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
That's brilliant. Surely we make it like 500 subs. 500 subs and we'll do
500 subs and we do a live stream. Yeah, we could do that. We might actually do that. That would be great.
Yeah,
That'd be really, really cool.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, it would be really early for me, so I'll be absolutely leathered right through the day. So I'll pick a day off from work, but it'd be fun.
And then I'll go out afterwards.
Yeah, you will. Like you said last time, that's just prees for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just prees. Right, we've been talking for about 15 minutes. Should we talk about Series 1 now?
Oh, please.
Let's do it. So how do we want to go about this? Okay, how do we want to start talking about Series 1? Because it's strange. For me, it wasn't either of our first series.
No,
so we don't have...
We're not the experts on this one necessarily.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, I mean,
you're an expert on all of Doctor Who.
I knew about the 17 DVDs in Blink, I've got all that stupid Doctor Who knowledge in the back of my head,
That's probably the biggest flex I've ever seen anyone in the Doctor Who world.
Biggest nerd flex in existence.
That took me out. I was like, I've got him here with this quiz. No.
Oh, my girlfriend thought that was so impressive. Didn't you
Yeah.
go, that's right, I'm alone.
Oh, where is she? Oh.
That was a How I Met Your Mother reference right there.
Ooh.
And I love
Really?
that line. Yeah, there's a line from one of the characters where she's like, what do you think about that, boyfriend? Oh, that's right, I'm alone. It's just it's a great line. I love it.
And it's stuck with you ever since.
It has. So let's start off. Let's lead it with what we should lead it with. Christopher Eccleston as the Ninth Doctor. What are your thoughts? How would you sum up the Ninth Doctor? and your feelings about him.
He doesn't like the Queen, does he?
It's Christopher Eccleston, and I'm not the Ninth Doctor. I don't know about the Ninth Doctor, but Christopher Eccleston certainly has his issues with the monarchy. But that's an interesting direction to take the start of our Series 1 chat into. That's not where I thought you were going there.
I just thought it'd be funny.
I thought you were going to go, he's fantastic, or, he doesn't like when people litter in Heaton Park.
I know, that was my next bit.
There's some great video. If you haven't seen, just literally search on YouTube,
please.
Christopher Eccleston, Heaton Park, Heaton.
It is so funny.
We
It's
quote
so
it, but
good.
he uses choice language. There was an edit someone did of it, of like that whole video with the Ninth Doctor's theme in the background. So he's like ranting about all litter in the background, you just hear.
Oh my god.
It's like that work. It's like tries to give him this mysterious edge as he's going, I hope nature turns around and beep. Okay. Christopher Eccleston is an icon though. I love that man. He is a great actor, a phenomenal actor. And his performance in the Ninth Doctor was brilliant, It was fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
I just wish we had more time with him. I understand like all the behind the scenes stuff. Like a lot of stuff's coming out now as well, saying, like it wasn't working for him, which I completely respect. And, he didn't want to necessarily be typecast either. But it's still such an iconic role. And I wish, I would have happily have had 2, 3, 4 more seasons with Eccleston. Can you imagine Eccleston and Martha Jones? Can you imagine that?
I've watched, I think I mentioned this guy before, and I kind of was careful about how I said it because I know it's probably just his name, so I probably could say the channel name. But there was a channel called Clever D1CK Films. I'm just making sure we get our backsides covered because we're trying to stay clean. I probably could say it, but you know what I mean? So you know what that's meant to be. But that guy does like documentaries on every era of Doctor Who. Some of the most well put together and fantastically organised things for what I think is just a solo project he does in his free time, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. And they're massive videos too.
I've only seen some of the most recent ones. I haven't seen the classic era ones yet. I need to watch them. But the Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant ones are phenomenal. But for Christopher Eccleston, it's really interesting because it gives you, at least for me, more information than I knew. I didn't know the reason that he took the roles because, well, first off, he'd worked with Russell T Davies before. There was a show that Russell T Davies wrote called The Second Coming, where there's a working class northern guy in England who realises that he is the second coming of Jesus. Which is obviously a heavily kind of like religion and political fueled drama that was very controversial at the time. But Christopher Eccleston heard that Russell T Davies was taking on Doctor Who, and he thought, well, I've worked with Russell before, and also one of his other reasons I thought was quite nice was he'd never really done proper roles for kids TV, or just like a role that kids could see him play. And he was like, I want to do something for kids. I think that would be a nice twist to do something like that, which I thought was a really nice thing. But yeah, so the stuff behind the scenes with Russell T Davies, that what went down, we'll never fully know. I know people are suggesting different things have gone on now behind the scenes, and it might not just have been the stuff with Russell that drove him off. I'm not going to go into any more detail on that because it's just speculation. It's probably not a good idea to trudge on there. If you want to look into it, you can. But the point is, we did get one amazing season with him. And it makes it difficult when I think about who my favourite Doctors are. Because it feels unfair to rank Christopher Eccleston against the other 4 because every other Doctor has had 3 seasons. And you've got to compare that to a Doctor who only had 1. And if he'd had 3 seasons, imagine where he would have gone. I mean, for most Doctors...
That's such a good point.
For most Doctors, their first season is not bad, but their weakest. Yeah,
because
like,
they're
Series
finding
2
their
is
feet.
phenomenal, but I honestly feel like David Tennant gets better as he goes on. Series 3 I find better, and Series 4 is astronomical.
I think it almost applies for every Doctor except maybe Matt Smith.
Yeah, and that's
from the modern era. From the modern era. Because Series 5 is... so good.
I love him. He evolves, I think, more than other Doctors in the sense that his personality and the way he kind of acts changes quite a bit. And I think that, he's always kind of the madcap kind of, looks very young, acts very old Doctor, but I think his mannerisms and stuff evolve a lot as he goes along in the show, more notably than maybe other Doctors. And I think that's why kind of the charm of Series 5 isn't really noticed as much in 6 and 7. I'm of a mind where I just like all of the series for him. I just kind of, I like all of them.
No.
But yeah,
I don't dislike any season of Doctor Who.
I don't dislike barely any episodes. I saw an argument yesterday that was like, oh, my top 5 worst episodes are blah, 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 blah. I never think of it like that. There are only 2 episodes in the show that I can distinctly say I didn't enjoy, and that's it. The rest of them I like to whatever extent.
Can I ask, I know we're talking about Series 1, can I ask what they are?
Go for it. Do you want to guess?
What are they? Oh, well, I already had my guesses before. Like, my 2 are Fear Her and In the Forest of the Night I can't stand.
Okay, so that overlaps one of them with me.
Oh, is it Fear Her?
No, Forest of the Night.
Okay, damn, all right.
I don't like the messaging behind it. There's some very questionable messaging it's really, from that. That's not good.
It leaves a bad impression.
Fear Her is quite bad, but I don't hate it. I don't hate anything. I don't hate any episode.
Hate's a strong word to use
but-
on something I don't like.
Yeah, I don't like
Clara
Fear Her.
quote right there.
I don't mind Fear Her compared to In the Forest of Night, and another episode that has absolutely no substance or weight to it. I remember liking it when I first saw it, but when I rewatched it in my big long watch along a year or so ago, did not like it for a second. It was just the opening segment was pretty good, and the ending was kind of nice, but the rest of it was just filler.
Yeah.
It was not enjoyable.
Filler at its finest.
Take a guess.
So what's the other one?
Take a guess what it is. I've explained it without telling you what the episode is. It's from the Matt Smith era, I'll say that.
Is it like Journey to the Center of the TARDIS?
That episode's great. What do you mean?
I don't like that.
We had
episode.
no coat 11th Doctor. He looked like he served.
Oh,
what did they say?
The
He served
looks great. The looks
Yeah.
great, but then they just wipe everyone's mind at
The episode I am talking about
Please tell.
is The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, really? I would
I-
never have picked that.
That's
would
not.
never
I
have
don't
picked
like
that.
the Narnia thing, and then it's just like, oh, there's acid rain and talking wood, and it's just like Bill Bailey's in it,
Wow.
who's like a UK icon, and
Yeah,
I love him.
It's a waste of Bill Bailey. I agree.
It's a waste of
an
Bill
absolute
Bailey.
Waste of Bill Bailey. Yeah.
I just felt like there wasn't
Damn.
much to it. To that
Wow.
episode, and I don't look forward to rewatching it. I'm like, oh, this one, oh, okay.
Wow, I'm learning lots about you.
You know, it's nothing compared to Voyage of the Damned, best Christmas special. Take no arguments. Don't you dare tell me Christmas
Only-
Carol is better. You are wrong.
Only because Kylie Minogue is an Australian icon and makes everything better.
We'll do a full episode
Thank
of Christmas
you.
specials when we get to Christmas. But should we talk about Series 1?
Yeah, let's get back on track. Can I give you a fun fact?
Give me a fun fact.
So, the episode Rose, the one that brought us all back in,
Yes.
that episode, you're going to be shocked by this, is the very first use of the word pizza in the history of the show.
Pizza.
Pizza. Do you find that strange?
I find it even more satisfying when Mickey gets consumed by the bin. I'll say that much. And you know why I find
Correct.
that more exciting
I
and
know.
enjoyable now.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful about how we
Yes.
approach a lot of this
Yes.
stuff. Unfortunately,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm sure you guys all know. We don't need to delve into
It's
it. But
difficult to look back on Mickey as a character without thinking about that stuff, but we're not going to touch on it because we don't really want to go there. And again,
Yeah.
the same thing applies. If you don't know about the stuff, you can easily Google it and find out. If you'd rather
easily
not know,
research
then
yourself.
I
But
can't blame you. But yeah,
anyway,
so,
I thought that was a fun
yeah,
factoid. Regardless,
they've never said pizza.
at all.
I know we've had jelly babies. I love
we've
that clip
definitely
of
had jelly
the fourth
babies.
Doctor when he goes, "Would you like a jelly baby?" and someone goes no and like smacks him out of his hand and he just grins and go, "Simple no would have sufficed," and then just starts like eating another one. absolute king. Love Tom Baker.
Absolute king. Can I give you another fun fact? Pretty
Yes,
please?
go for it.
Okay. So my next fun fact is that Rose was the first time that there was a Next Time trailer. Did you know that?
Wow.
Did you know that? Yeah.
Wow. That is
Pretty
that is-
fun.
wow.
That was an Owen Wilson wow for a second there.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow.
Next Time trailer? Wow.
We recorded like about 3 or 4 different intro bits. I don't know which one we're using. I can't remember. What was the one we said we were going to use? I don't know.
The one
I do not know.
the Han Solo one.
Oh yeah, the Han Solo one. That's a long intro again. We love our long intros.
That's fine.
We're
That's
gonna
fine.
start uploading some of them as clips, like as shorts on YouTube, and I think reels on Instagram or something. Maybe we should make
We'll
a
see.
TikTok to be down with the kids and put them on there. I don't know.
Tiki Talkies.
I know I have a TikTok. We could put them on my TikTok, I suppose, if we do the clips. That's an option. That's an option. Drive up some more popularity. You know. He doesn't like the idea. He's gone really quiet. Okay, forget it. We won't
I'm
put it on my
looking
TikTok.
at more fun facts.
Why are you looking for more fun facts?
There's so many.
But Christopher
So
Eccleston, we
many.
need to talk about Ninth Doctor a little bit more.
All right, let's talk about Ninth Doctor a little bit more.
How do you rank the Ninth Doctor amongst the other Doctors?
Excellent question. This is really tough. I have a video on it. If I can use that as reference, because I can't.
course you
Like it
can.
changes. It changes every day. It changes
yeah.
every.
Out of the modern
Actually,
Doctors.
No, I don't have a video on it because I haven't seen that much Classic Who, so I haven't.
So, out of the modern Doctors, but not accounting for side, in inverted commas, it sounds rude, but not accounting for side Doctors, so War and Fugitive are out of the question.
yeah, just my
9,
side
10,
docs.
11, 12, 13. How do you rank 9 amongst them? You don't have to do a full order for the rest of them, just where would you put 9? I have got a point to this, I'm not just doing it to put you under pressure.
No, it's just tough. It's just really tough. One, because we haven't seen all of Jodie, and two, because we had such little time with Chris. So, I'd say, I don't know, they're all on par, except for Capaldi, because he's king. I don't know, I might put him on par with Tennant, so wherever my Tennant is, let's just go he's mid.
He's mid. He's a
Eccleston
mid
is
doctor.
mid.
Did you just call him
Eccleston's
mid?
No,
Oh,
he's
wow.
middle. He's the middle of my
Christopher Middleston. Can't believe it.
Christopher Middleston.
Christopher Middleston.
Okay, what's your point then? Okay.
My point
What's
is,
your
well, it's
point?
basically a way of segueing back to what I was trying to talk about before we both went off track because we have a habit of doing that.
Sorry, everyone.
Now imagine where you'd rank him. I think it was my fault. I don't know why you're apologising, or why you're apologising at all, realistically. It's what the podcast is made of. It's what everyone comes to listen to. Us sidetrack for 20 minutes, up for an hour.
You're welcome.
Imagine now he'd had 3 series.
Oh.
And imagine that the same rule applied with David Tennant, Capaldi, Whittaker, maybe not Smith, where every series gets better for that doctor. Imagine where you'd put him then.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? It's so annoying. Because when I rank my doctors, my kind of rough ranking is Capaldi, Tennant, Whittaker, and then Smith and Eccleston beneath that. I don't know where. I kind of fight over the two. And the reason is, Eccleston would probably trump Smith and Whittaker if he had 3 series. But he doesn't. I don't have
agree.
much time with him, so you can't get as attached to him.
I completely agree.
It's good that he has a 1 series arc. I like that his arc is like kind of done in the whole series. Because that's good. It would be even worse if it was an arc that was kind of cut off by regeneration. That'd be awful.
Yeah.
But him choosing to be the coward rather than the killer, thinking that obviously he had killed all the Time Lords despite him not doing that in the end. That is a good arc to have been on for
Brilliant
a series.
Arc. It's very well done.
Because he's only there for 1 series, it's hard to get attached. So while he gives that phenomenal performance, and obviously the rule of be glad he was there at all applies, it is sad because we didn't get the same amount of time we've been afforded to most other doctors. Certainly all the modern ones.
There we go. Wow, that was beautiful. That was
It's a really well argued point,
Troy.
you know? Yeah, it's a very well argued point.
That was really well said.
I can't wait for the Jodie haters to be like, you rank Jodie above Smith and Eccleston? Yes, I do.
Someone's gonna comment
and
that.
what?
Hey, you want another fun fact?
I was just enjoying that nice little... I'm going to leave that. I normally cut out gaps in the podcast. I'm going to enjoy that pause.
That was
I'm going to
nice,
leave that in there. Because I'm making that point and I'm letting it hang in the air. I'm letting it hang in the air.
Let it sizzle for everyone.
Exactly. You know? But Matt Smith could never have been... Matt Smith did Morbius. Jodie Whittaker could never have been... could never have gone toe-to-toe with Jared Leto, So
Absolutely not. Actually, you know what?
She'd be like,
Weirdly enough,
what
I feel
are you
like
doing,
Jodie would have been...
Morbius? What are you doing?
Genuinely, I feel like Jodie would have actually
probably
crushed
would've
that
done.
role. Can
She
you
probably would've
imagine?
done,
Well, any of the doctors could. They're all excellent actors.
Jodie
But-
Whittaker could crush any role. In this house, we stand Jodie Whittaker.
Yes,
Stream
correct.
Trust Me on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Hashtag sponsored,
We talked
hashtag
about we talked about that all of last week.
We did. Yeah, it was an hour talking about Trust Me. Yeah.
Yeah, the Trust Me hour.
Yeah, the Trust Me out. Trust me, it was really good. Sorry. Okay, move on.
So
Oh, you didn't even laugh at that terrible joke.
No,
I didn't even get a pity laugh. I didn't even
I'm
get a
trying to
pity laugh.
I'm trying to tell you my fun fact.
This is just the Crispy's fun fact hour now.
This is the Crispy fun factor. I want you to keep on riffing, and then I'm just going to barge in with fun facts.
Really?
You ready? No.
Well, I was going to move on to the next segment of Series 1, but go for it. Give us another fun fact.
This bit will get very old.
Okay.
So, in another first for the naughty words in the history of Doctor Who, goddamn is used by Van Statten.
How dare
in
you
the
say that
Dalek
on this clean
episode.
podcast?
I know we just went on about having a clean podcast, but that's the first time that's said in Doctor Who. And the first time they say
you just
hell
swore
is in
on this podcast.
end of the...
You absolute... Wow, it's really weird. The podcast just cut off there. I don't know what happened. That was crazy. Don't worry. I called him a fence. He has a picket fence.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You absolute picket fence.
My
Crispy.
light just ran out.
It's ran out completely. Are you telling me the bit I had prepared is now no longer able to be executed?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm really sad
Correct.
now. I was going to talk about Sabine later and make you turn the light blue.
It had so much charge, but then we couldn't get recording for 40 minutes.
Yeah, because last time we definitely got recorded really quickly, didn't we? We were on call for like an hour and 15 or something before we started last week.
I'm actually surprised at how bad that light was just then.
Sounds
Anyway,
like you need a new light.
that's okay.
You need to shine a light on the issues
not
there.
look great. It's an audio platform. Doesn't matter.
No,
Doesn't
it's
matter.
not. Spotify and YouTube got that video, you know? They got that video.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
It's true. And Apple have as well. Oh, never mind.
Oh, ha 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 ha. Oi, Troy.
Yes.
Let's talk about Rose as a character.
Yes. Let's talk about
Yes.
Rose. That was definitely where I was going next. Definitely hadn't forgotten about that and was going to move on to a different section.
Good.
I love Billy Piper. I love Rose. I don't know why I didn't think that was the next point to jump on. Yes. What did you think of Rose?
I prefer Series 1 Rose to Series 2. Everybody now. I prefer Series 1 Rose to Series 2.
Really?
Yes. Yes, I do.
There was a comment,
I
I
do.
think, on YouTube. I'm going to just find it quickly that said something along those lines, but it was more just about Rose generally, I think. Yeah, here we go. It was a comment from Ishfish on YouTube who said, I recently watched... He said,
Sorry.
I recently rewatched... It's okay. No, seriously. He said, I recently rewatched Doctor Who Series 1 to 10, and before the rewatch, Rose was my favourite companion. However, after the rewatch, she went from S tier to B tier for me. She just screwed over my boy Mickey. I'm going to have to censor that in the video. And I hate that it was insinuated that she was getting with just about any male character in any episode. Aside from that, I feel like she just didn't do much besides be annoying and be really, really stupid and not think about her actions. And I've actually had to clean up dialogue there. So Ishfish is clearly very passionate about how he, she, they now feel about Rose. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
That change of perspective after a rewatch?
That's not how I would have framed it. I just think I find her arc in series 1 better. I think I don't necessarily like the whole Tennant and Rose. I mean, it's very sad when they're on the beach and everything, and I understand it's the emotional arc of the series. But
Everyone in the UK cried in 2006.
I know the entire.
As if a million voices cried out at once and were silenced.
Is that from an episode?
Star Wars. It's from Star Wars.
Sorry.
When Alderaan gets blown up. Which, side note, if there are only 1 million people on Alderaan, that it? 1 million
Only
voices?
1 mil.
Yeah, it's not very much, is it, you know? The one thing I will say, I don't know, because I agree with the point of view of her, the way she behaved to Mickey, because I realised on rewatch, I was like, she really did treat him like trash.
Oh, it's horrible.
Regardless of the fact that we don't know how good their relationship was before Eccleston showed up, but it seemed like it was at least, like, decent, solid enough. There was a weird comment in the first episode when she goes to use his computer, like, don't read my emails, which I thought was really odd. And it makes me think that maybe he was being a bit suspect, and maybe that kind of changes the playing field a little bit. You don't remember him saying that, do you?
Absolutely not.
No, she goes to his flat, and she's like, I'm going to go use computer, and he's like, that's fine. And then he shouts, he goes, don't read my emails!
Surely that's just like a, Moffat, don't look at my internet
browser
history kind of joke.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't think he's being too sus.
Well, it's very badly done because she kind of, well, not badly done, but her character in a way, she basically just runs off to travel with the Doctor, which, I think we all would, in fairness. But she does that, and then I don't really think the relationship is properly glossed over again, because there's kind of a bit of a brief conversation in Aliens of London, but they don't really say, are we together, are we not? In Boomtown, there's kind of like another talk, and he's like saying that he's got with somebody else, but then it turns out he hasn't, and then he's actually still in love with her, but wants her to love him. It's very weird, and she does treat Mickey like trash.
Yeah, it's a very unstable relationship.
Yeah, and that is an unlikable trait about Rose, and the way she treats him is bad. Like it is a bit weird. I don't know, because in series 2 they kind of get rid of that. Mickey accepts that they're not going to be together, and it kind of refines her character. I do like she is probably a bit more. Actually, is she more sassy in series 1? She's pretty sassy in both. I mean, Idiot's Lantern. That scene when she goes to she does that big grin with her teeth and then runs off. Like she's got mad sass in that series as well.
She's Rose. Rose is a cool character. Rose, in general, she's not a bad companion, absolutely. But she's just not one of my favorites. That's
I really like
line.
Rose. I think I prefer in series 2 to series 1. I'm going to go opposite direction of you.
We can agree to disagree, and that's why this podcast works so well.
It works so well. We're like yin and
crispy. I'm smiling for the audio listeners.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm just looking in pain.
Yeah.
Just really big pain. Just really lots of pain. Lots of pain. It's like I've been electrocuted by my ID card that was used to identify the bodies.
Whoa.
Please tell me you get that.
Sorry, I was still looking at fun facts, so I don't quite know what you said.
I was referencing Aliens of London.
Is that a Slovene one? Because I don't like the Slovene.
Thank you all for wearing your ID cards.
I don't like the
They'll
Slovene.
help to identify the bodies.
I don't like the Slovene.
Right, okay. All right.
I just want to see what you go.
I'm going to table that for a minute. That's getting tabled because I want to talk about... There's 2 things I want to touch on. I want to touch on our favourite episodes and why, and then talk specifically about kind of the Daleks / the ending of the series and the regeneration. That's 2 different things I think we need to talk about in the last 20, 30 minutes of the podcast. 100%. But let's focus first on favourite episodes, and that's a good place to go. So if I said to you right now, Crispy, there's not a gun to your head, there's a Dalek exterminator to your head. Let's make it relevant, okay? You have to say in 3 seconds your favorite series at 1 episode or double bill episode. 3, 2, 1, go.
The Empty Child, Dr. Dances.
Right, go on, do it to me now.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Father's Day.
Oh, wow. That's not where I expected you to go.
I don't know if that's a hot take.
Interesting. Why?
Because it's just fantastic. It is a great episode. You probably thought I was going to say Slitheen, didn't you?
I knew you were going to say Slitheen, and I was wrong.
Why
not Slitheen? You're the number one Slitheen stan.
Because Slitheen stan. Why does it sound like a name of one of the Slitheen in the episode? I am Stan von Fel Fox Slitheen. No, Father's Day to me, it's a beautiful episode just generally, but I love the way it's done in that Rose gets to like properly meet her dad and see how he dies, tries to save it, the ramifications of what happens when she tries to save it, and then having to accept the fate, and just the whole way the episode is done. It's a difficult one because it's hard to pin down exactly what it is, but there's something on like a really emotional level about that episode that always gets to me, and as a kid it was one I would always watch back and always cry at and always love to bits. There are a few episodes from the Rusty Davies era that I would always go back to and always love, and one of them was Father's Day. I absolutely loved it. I think as like a piece of, not even as a piece of Doctor Who, as a piece of television, it is fantastic. You know, I think it honestly genuinely is brilliant.
No, really well said. That's great. It's like, yeah, absolutely one of the more emotional episodes because it deals with a very real thing, you know, the loss of a family member. Like, and I feel like they handled it really well. And you know, it's a true thing. Like if someone were to have a time machine, there would be that temptation to see loved ones who have passed, and you know, there's consequences with that.
Yeah, and it's a theme I do like when you get people saying I want to go back in time and look at this. It's something that, you know, Yaz did with Demons of the Punjab, which is another good episode where you go back to meet a family member. But your Father's Day I love the concept that like he warns Rose not to do anything and she still intervenes and we live in that world for a while. I like that we get to live in it. It's almost like the argument with Infinity War, like a slight change of plan, but when, you know, Thanos snapped his fingers in Infinity War, everyone was worried in Endgame there'd be an immediate reset, but there wasn't. We got to live in that world.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. It's cool to see the ramifications and actually see how people living in that world dealing with that fact. Same thing in Father's Day. Rather than him being, you changed it, we've got to fix it back right now, we actually have a period of time where they're in that church watching everything die around them and just being like, you know what, I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know how we're going to go. And especially, I think it's the twist of the Doctor being killed. Like that is like a shock twist. Yeah. That is a really, really cool thing.
I need to rewatch this damn episod.
It's fantastic.
You're getting me very excited.
Yeah. It's just so well written. It's really, really well written, really well performed. Billy in particular, that might be her best performance in the series. Like in series 1, that might be a hot take. I might need to think about that a little bit more. But her performance, accepting that her dad realizes he's got to die, and then going out and like being there with him, is just like there's so many scenes that are like perfectly done. Especially Jackie realizing as well that you know, Rose is her daughter. Started. That whole thing is just like,
that was huge.
Yeah, you know what? It's far and above. I know everyone loves Empty Child and Doctor Dances. I know everyone loves those two episodes, and I do as well. They are phenomenal. But I don't think they hit the same level as Father's Day does. Which is what you comes to this podcast for. It's for different takes.
Exactly.
Different takes.
For yin and crispy. Yin and crispy,
yes. That's definitely how that saying goes. Yeah, we're sticking with that.
But Father's Day is just so different also as well, because I kind of approach it differently. Because I don't know if you know this, but it's actually one of 3 episodes in Doctor Who to feature narration.
Is that one of your fun facts? Yeah.
No, I just knew that. I just wanted to.
Wait, what are the other two? Oh, hang on. I'm gonna. No, I know the other two. One is Heaven Sent.
Oh gosh, no! This would have been released before Heaven Sent and stuff.
Right. Well, because that was, you know, when you begin your life, it begins a journey. You know, there are two. That's actually a narration right the way through. Yeah, there are two events no one remembers in their life.
Well, it was the third one to do so. It was the third one to use narration. The other two were The Deadly Assassin in 1976 and the 1996 TV movie in which we watched.
There are more. There's another one. There's Pyramid at the End of the World. There's a bit of a monologue at the start where Capaldi's kind of like, you know, the end of the world has already begun kind of thing. Somewhere, it's like something has happened, choices, or there's something he says, I can't remember, there's narration there. There's probably other episodes as well.
There's
Trying
probably
to think
heaps,
now,
but this
what other
one,
episodes are there with narration?
this one was just the third to do so. Well, I mean, we can have an entire podcast just talking about narration.
Best narrations in Doctor Who.
Yeah. Top 10 narrations in Doctor Who.
I don't think David Tennant ever had a narration episode, I'll say that much.
He doesn't need one, mate.
Maybe he did need one. He could do so much more. So much more. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Great
I'm going to
stuff.
slide another
Great
hot take
stuff.
in. People really don't like that scene, don't like his performance. I think it's all fantastic and fits his character.
What? When have you heard that?
Have you never seen... I see that complaint so much. People say that his performance in that scene
never seen
is
that.
so, like, tantrumy and childish and isn't, like, in character with the Doctor.
What?
Crazy. We'll get there. We'll get there when we talk about Series 4.
my
'Cause
gosh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do we slide the specials in with Series 4 when we do the looking back on that? Or do we do a
God.
special episode?
Oh, God.
Probably a special episode, actually, now I think about it.
Special episode, yeah. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
But yeah, so that's my pick for best episode, be Father's Day. What would you pick as your... Oh, we've already... Yeah, you need to... I just realised, yeah, you picked yours, and then I gave mine and gave an explanation. You didn't explain yours.
Oh, well, this is what we're doing now.
Yeah, this is what we're doing
right
now.
now.
So explain to me why Empty Child and Doctor Dances is your favourite story. If you still believe it, and I haven't persuaded you now for Father's Day.
No, but I am considering, being a Father's Day stan as well. However,
We should
I'll
watch it
say...
and do the drinking game.
Oh, my gosh. No, drinking with that episode, I'll cry my eyes out, mate.
Yeah, I'll cry into me vodka.
I'll cry, mate. I'll cry. No, the Empty Child Doctor Dances are just some of the best written and terrifying pieces of media that I've seen, and I think it still holds up completely. The only thing that doesn't hold up is the green screen shot of Billy Piper hanging across London.
Yeah.
That's very funny. That's very funny, but it is 2005, so you look past it.
It is a bit daft, the whole thing, anyway. Like her getting onto that rope. I don't quite understand. Yeah.
Look, it's quite a reach, but I just thought it was
Yeah,
so
she was
clever.
reaching. She reached for the rope and ended up hanging from it.
She reached for a damn rope.
Yeah, she reached for that rope and she was hanging from a blimp for a good long while. She would not have held on that long either, by the way. Can we talk about that?
No,
Like that
I'm pretty sure Billy Piper just has ridiculous upper body strength. It's a surprising fact about her.
Yeah, she actually wearing that Union flag top. Really, just she channeled the power of British.
She channeled
grabbed
the
on.
entire energy of the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember the flag is called the Union flag. It is the Union flag and not the Union Jack. It's only the Union Jack when it's at sea.
Whoa. Now that's
Wait,
a fun fact.
Did you not know that?
No? Why would I know that?
You don't remember that fact from Series 2, Episode 7, The Idiot's Lantern?
No. I'm sorry, I cannot quote the entirety of Idiot's Lantern.
That was one of my favourite episodes as a kid as well. And even though,
What?
I know.
Oh
Now, that one
God.
is more mid. I know that now looking back on it, but
Yin
it's one of
and
my favourites as a
crispy.
kid.
Yin and crispy,
But
man.
there's a scene where
Jeez.
she says that to one of the guys in the house, and she's like, "It's only the Union Jack when it's at sea." And then she sits down, and David Tennant goes, "Union flag?" She goes, "Mum without the sailor," and he goes, "Oh, I bet she did." Do you
Wow.
remember that?
No, what? No, I don't. If it's
Crispy's
not...
clearly the fake fan. He doesn't know 17 DVDs off by heart. He doesn't know the Union flag. I'm just really
don't.
disappointed in you. I'm really disappointed in you.
don't.
But I think I don't know about you, but the best bit probably about that double parter is Everybody Lives.
Yeah, that's
is
where I was
such
getting.
a
That's where I was
beautiful
getting to right
moment.
now.
Yeah.
It's one of Eccleston's
You've
absolute
been hijacked.
highlights.
You've been hijacked like a Chula warship.
I've been damn hijacked right now.
You've been
but I
hijacked
also,
like the Chula warship.
Are you making weird references again?
That was the name of the ship that crashed in that episode. It was a Chula warship.
Wow.
Right, do you know what? And you clearly
impressed.
don't know this then, so here's a fun
I'm
fact for you
impressed.
based on that. When the Doctor Who reboot was first announced, and Rusty Davies, Stephen Moffat, Mark Gatiss, and I think someone else, I can't quite remember who the fourth person was, I think there were 4 people, were talking about their ideas, they spent one night kind of celebrating and planning out at a restaurant called Chula. And so calling the warship a Chula warship was an in-joke for them to that night where they all spent in the restaurant.
Wow.
And that
Where
was
did you
from the Christopher
find that?
Eccleston episode of that documentary by the guy I told you about. If you watched that, you would have known. So watch that documentary. It is
Wow.
phenomenal. I'm telling you now, it's phenomenal. You could literally do a
Wow.
live stream reacting to it, genuinely, and people would be fascinated. It's so good. I've watched hit
Damn.
that and the David Tennant one about 3 or 4 times. They're genuinely so
my
fascinating
goodness.
to watch. They're really well done.
Well, I've gone to, but they're just such a big commitment, They're just such a big commitment. But I will do it.
You got to commit. You got to commit. The centenary will
commit.
probably be longer. Or hopefully it won't be, but I hope it will be. I hope it will be. But yeah, so Everybody Lives is a great thing. Captain Jack, I know obviously John Barrowman, there's some stuff with him that we're just kind of putting to the side.
We're going to
because it's not
gloss
worth
over
getting
that
into.
real quick.
But separating the actor from the character, Captain Jack is one of the greatest characters in Doctor Who. I'd still
he's
firmly believe
brilliant.
that. I absolutely love him. And
Absolutely.
he has a great introduction in those episodes. I think he's really, really well written and integrated into the story that makes him really interesting and like a really cool character.
He is excellent. And I just find it funny that, that character had been introduced in 2005. But can you imagine what Chibnall would have copped if he introduced a Captain Jack character now? Can you imagine the uproar?
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, guys. I don't know. That's just a little thing I wanted to throw in there because it's been on my mind. But yeah.
Also, that episode has probably my favourite comedic line from the Ninth Doctor. And it's just a really small one, but I love it.
What is it?
Rose is trying to flirt with the Doctor and be like, show me your moves. And he just goes, Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete. I don't know why. That line is just so funny to me.
Rose, I'm trying to resonate concrete.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, you are.
I am. If a woman ever wants to ask me on the dance
Girl,
floor,
do you want me to show you my
that's
moves?
what
Because
I
I'm trying to resonate concrete right here.
I'm just resonating. Some
We've
concrete
taken
stuff,
that
all right?
line and made it far
right.
darker and far more mature than it
hot.
needs to be. And you know what? No regrets. No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets.
Okay, so special shout out because I've got to mention it a little bit. The thing I hate about us limiting episodes to an hour is we can talk about so much more. When you did the episode with me on the Redcast, we spoke for 2.25 hours. So much more. So yeah, I have to shout out Aliens of London World War 3 because
This is what I wanted to hear you say.
people do not like the Slitheen, or a lot of people don't. They don't like the farting. They think the aliens are a bit. Well, people think the aliens are a bit goofy. Blah, blah, blah. The farting, right? I agree. It's a funny political allegory. I know that's what Russell T Davies was going for because politicians are talking out of there. That's the idea. If you didn't know that, I don't know if anyone else didn't know that. That was the idea. At least I'm guessing that was the idea. That's the subtext that I picked up from it, and I think a lot of people did. But I think the farting is funny to an extent, and then it keeps going after about 3 minutes. And it's one thing that Sarah Jane Adventures nailed down really well, where there was a bit of it. And even in the first episode of Sarah Jane Adventures, there's a bit too much where the headmaster's doing the speech to all the school, and just constantly it's just and it's constantly farting. Once they nailed that down in Sarah Jane Adventures and just focused more on the actual Slitheen, it was the perfect manifestation of that character. And that's the thing, Sarah Jane Adventures proved that you could do Slitheen in a less goofy way. I love how you just cannot keep a straight face. Is it the farting noises? What have I done?
Just the fact that you're just talking about the limit, the acceptable limit of farting. I just find so funny.
Crispy, how old are you?
It's so funny that you're having
For the audience, how old are you?
Funny that you're having this in-depth conversation about the correct limit of farting and how Sarah Jane Adventures really handled the farting well. I just find that so funny.
Crispy.
I'm
Please state your age
24
for the
years
camera.
old.
Right, so he is 2 years older than me, and he's finding the farting conversation funnier than I am. This man is a child. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it, but
No, absolutely not.
no, you're right. It is quite funny. But I love the idea of these aliens being hidden in skin suits and the way that that's all done. I thought that was really cool. You are literally a child. You are literally a child. I go to move away from the farting, and you blow your tongue. What are you?
I'm sorry. Keep going. I won't interrupt. I promise.
No, I'm not. We're just gonna end the episode early. We literally have 5-10 minutes to talk about the generation, so we're gonna be going over again. I love editing longer episodes. Woo!
That's all right. Let's wrap it. Let's wrap it up.
I'll tell you one thing. At least this week editing this, it won't be the latest I stayed up. I made a Payday 3 video for my main channel and spent so long doing promotion for a merch piece that by the time I'd actually finished editing the video, I went to bed at 8 a.m.
It's impressive.
It was not good. Not impressive.
impressive.
Painful. I tried to stream later that night and I was absolutely exhausted. So that's fun.
I believe
But
in you.
I love the episode. I think the actual content of the episode across the two parts is maybe not as dense, but I just really like the Slitheen. I think that they're really cool monsters. I like the idea of them hiding in skin suits and just kind of them actually being proper predators. I think that obviously certain bits of the episode could have been done better. I think the mix between the the body facial prosthetics and the CGI is a bit jarring.
Oh, definitely.
You don't notice it as much as a kid when you look and they're bumbling along the corridor and then all of a sudden they're predator, leaping along the floors. The floor is oh, okay, all right, I know what you're trying to do
How did
there.
that happen?
Yeah.
But yeah.
All of a sudden they kind of had a sudden burst of energy. They had a stamina meter and they used it all up in that one scene, and then from that they were just kind of bumbling around.
And then they still go back to bubbling around.
They look so good though, the prosthetics on the Slitheen.
They are.
I think
They do look good.
They are brilliant. And there's one image I love in particular, if I can find. There is an image of someone in those prosthetics, but with no legs. It's just them in their normal legs with just the prosthetics from the body up the stomach upwards. And it's like one of those
I
like
wanna
really
s- I
stupid
wanna
memes
see
where it's
this
just
image.
like they send a picture and it's like Mum says it's my turn on the Xbox, like that kind of thing. It's like one of the funniest things. If I find the image, I'll put it on this video
Yeah,
version
please,
of the podcast.
please.
It's so funny to me.
That
it's
is
so
funny as.
funny. But yeah, so special shout out my homeboys, the Slovene. Bring them back, Russell. I know you can do it. RTD2,
That's what I wanted to
slip
say
the-
to you, Troy. Like,
Yes.
I can guarantee you, if Russell does bring them back, they will be like insanely good. Because I
If he
think he
brings them
knows
back,
to
best episode
fart a
of
little
Doctor
less, and with the updated technology and everything, I can imagine like the actual like de-skinning being horrifying.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it could be seriously creepy, and I don't know how political Russell wants to get with this era, but you can imagine the stories he could tell in this day and age.
That's very true.
yeah.
That's very true. But I just like to make sure you heard the point I said there. If he brings the Celine back, automatically best episode of Doctor Who.
Automatically best,
I don't make the rules.
no matter
It's
what.
just-
No
it's just
matter
a
what
fact.
happens.
Heaven sent,
Okay.
or like heaven sent out of first place by the Celine coming back. That would have been an
Nice,
even
dude.
better pun if I'd have actually managed to land it without
Yeah,
screwing up on my
it-
words.
It was really good, but you just so
yeah.
close.
Yeah, it's just like your whole career, to be honest, isn't it?
Whoa!
That was really. I'm cutting that out. That was too mean. That's too mean. No, I'm cutting that out. I'm cutting that out. That is too mean. I'm
Nah,
not.
keep it in.
I'm
Nah,
not being
keep it
branded
in.
as a bully.
Keep
I'm not
it
being.
in.
No, that's bullying.
Keep
I'm
it in.
bullying you. It's not nice.
You spoiled Moon Knight for me.
Han Solo dies. Go on, walk off. Walk off. Go on. Finish the bit. Yeah, see? He can't commit to it. Just like he can't commit to watching Moon Knight when it comes out, and that's why he's been spoiled.
So the regeneration was pretty good.
We've got to mention the Dalek at least a little bit, though. Dalek was a fantastic episode, a really good way of bringing back the Dalek, and also had, the nicest line for the Doctor. The Doctor is kind, wise, loving, caring. He's never cruel or cowardly. He's always, trying to be nice, show love wherever he can. Always, never be cruel, always, never be cowardly, and if you ever are, always make amends. Except for when you're talking to a Dalek, in which case you just tell it to kill itself.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I love
to
the
take
memes that
in.
come out of it where people like just take pictures of the Ninth Doctor and put
Yeah.
like in quotes, "Kill yourself, the Ninth Doctor." It's just like, when does he say? Oh yeah, in Dalek.
Oh, wait, he
yeah.
does say that. He
He
does
does
say
say
that.
that. That's sus, Eccleston. That's very sus. Is Among Us still relevant? I nearly called it Amogus.
Mobius.
Is it Amogus? Amobius?
Mobius?
But the two-parter with the Dalek Emperor, the Bad Wolf arc. The Bad Wolf thing was really strange, that arc. I really like it. It's almost odd that Rose becomes the Deus Ex Machina of that series. You know what I mean?
Elaborate.
Because, like,
Elaborate a little bit more.
well, because the idea is that the Bad Wolf is meant to lead them to that point, but, like, it doesn't really take them there. They just end up there anyway, and they're like, oh, wait, these are the words I've seen in several places. That must mean something.
I don't know. I'm speechless.
ruined
I'm
that for you
speechless.
now, haven't I?
Yeah, I'm just trying to
No, to be fair,
process that.
I'm over-analysing it. The point is meant to be that it's just kind of to tease you, like the cracks.
Yeah,
Like, we don't
yeah.
get led to the Pandorica opening by seeing the cracks everywhere. Like it's an unfair
I see.
criticism. It's an unfair criticism.
No, that's a really good point. It's a really good point. I've watched this episode so many times. I've never
Billy
actually
Piper
thought
being
of it
the
like
Deus
that.
Ex Machina and the whole Rose, like I am this all-powerful god type creature, is like, it's really cool. I love that, the Dalek Emperor's like, the Doctor, actually it's kind of like a Thor Ragnarok moment. The Dalek Emperor's
Yeah.
like, you'll never defeat me, and Ninth Doctor's like, no, I know I won't, but she will, and then she just opens the door and starts disintegrating. You know what I love about that is I didn't hear you do that. I'm going to only hear that in the edit. Your mic didn't
Yeah.
pick it up. That's going to be great.
gosh,
I know
dang it.
exactly what you did. I'm guessing you did Immigrant Song. So
Correct.
yeah. Okay, can't wait to hear that in the edit. Can't wait to hear it. But that was brilliant. But yeah, let's talk with how it ends, the regeneration.
Oh my gosh.
I just want to
Underrated
tell you,
regeneration.
it was fantastic. Absolutely
Yep.
fantastic.
And you've nailed
you
it
know
on the
what?
head there.
So was this podcast.
So was
So
I.
thank you all for listening.
Oh, good night. No, I'm kidding. Go stay for a little
that
bit.
was a brilliant scene. I know people kind of like the more subtle regeneration where they don't explode the TARDIS. I like all the regenerations they've done. My only regeneration slight dislike I'm not major on is the way that it's just a snap between Smith and Capaldi, which I know is not a
Yeah.
hot take. That, like, I know it's meant to be different, but I kind of like when there's a bit more drama to it. I don't know.
A bit more build up.
But I just really like the way it was done for Eccleston. I think it was really cool because it's kind of like, it's a good way of explaining regeneration to people who haven't seen it before.
100%.
Because obviously, by the time we get to Tennant and Smith and Capaldi, we kind of have an idea that that's what happens, and in Series 1, we've seen it happen. And it's written in a way that if you haven't seen series 1, you still kind of know it's coming. But I like that the explanation is kind of like, they explain the actual point of it, and he says it's like a way of cheating death, but it means I'm going to change. And it's kind of like a good way to explain it both to Rose and to us. But that's the point of the companion. The companion's meant to be like our surrogate, like the surrogate for the audience. Yeah. You know? That they carry us through, and they represent what we're asking a lot of the time. So I think it's a really
well done.
Yeah, it's a really well written scene and a really well performed scene.
And look, like while we keep saying like Eccleston didn't have that many series, because it was such a limited run, his regeneration, like he doesn't necessarily have to do the big speech.
Exactly.
The big moment,
that's why
the big
David
dramatic
Tennant's
moment
has that big weight, because it's like the Doctor everyone loved and grew up with in the UK at the very least.
With Eccleston, like it's so subtle, and you could see him. He's like, yeah, I'm dying. This is what's going to happen. Thank you so much for everything you've done, Rose. But I'm going to
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. We'll see you this time next week. But I don't know. I think I love the subtlety of it. Like you can almost like he's trying to hide it. Like in Must Have. He's like oh,
and the
this
music.
is what's happening. Oh, the music's so good. The
music's great.
So good.
The music's good.
But yeah.
The whole thing. Actually, do you know what, speaking of music, there's one scene in Passing of the Ways that is not that we have to mention very briefly, and it's a nice way to round it off as my one of my favourite scenes from the series, and probably one of the best scenes in the show, I feel like. The scene of Rose being sent back in the TARDIS with the Ninth Doctor's hologram.
Yeah.
Like, the way that's done, and with the music, which is like, is it Rose's theme? It is Rose's theme, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I could not tell you.
It's like, it's really like the beautiful piece of music.
Good.
But it's him explaining why she's going back, and then the audio goes from like crispy to fully clear, high quality, and he turns to look exactly where she is and says, "Have a good life." Like when I watched that on my rewatch, crying genuinely made me cry. I was like,
wow.
"Oh wow, I forgot about this. This is heartbreaking." Like that scene is beautiful.
It's some good stuff.
It is genuinely beautiful. It might be my second favorite like scene of the era of that series, beyond the whole Rose dealing with, well, that's more than one scene, but Rose dealing with her dad realizing he has to die, and that I love the emotional stuff in that series. I really do.
Well, there's some excellent emotional beats in that series.
I'm a glutton for emotional punishment. Clearly, I'm a glutton for emotional punishment. That's what we've learned about me. But we know this. I cry at lots of films and TV shows and games and stuff.
Correct.
Who else do you know that plays all of the Mass Effect games across 2 weeks and then cries his eyes out at the ending at 3 a.m. for about half an hour straight?
That's only you. That's only you, my friend. That's only you, my friend.
'Cause it's only you. You won't know that song, but
I won't. But that was really nice. I enjoyed it.
Mayor Hawthorne, very good song. No one has ever heard of him, but he's a king.
Nice.
Very, very cool, like R&B, soul, funky music. Go listen to him. He's cool. But I think that's probably a good point to wrap it up. As always, R&B and soul, great point to end a podcast about Doctor Who.
Absolutely. Well,
do you have any closing thoughts? Yes, I was going to say, do you have any closing thoughts?
I have a closing thought for you, Troy.
Go for it.
A closing question. What would you rate this series out of 9?
Oh, good ending. I like it.
Out of 9. Out of 9.
Out of 9? Ooh.
Yeah, for Eccleston.
It's difficult. Because in my head, I'm thinking about how amazing that series is, but I'm also thinking about how I enjoy other series more.
Just focus as a piece of media. Don't compare it to anything else. As a nice little self-contained package.
We did that for the TV movie, and then when we reacted to Legend of the Sea Elves, we were like, we were too nice to the TV movie, so you can't say that. You can't say that. Out of 9? 7?
That's what I was going to go with as well.
I don't know, because it feels like even that's too low.
7.4.
I am trying to think, because I'm thinking, like, which series do I like more than Series 1? And I'll probably say 3, 4, 10... Flux, 5 as well, probably. Like, there's a lot of, like, I just enjoy it. Well, Flux is one that I really love, and I know that's a hot take. There's lots of hot takes this episode.
That is a hot take. So many hot takes. We're burning hot.
Yeah, burning hot. I'm on fire, mate. I'm on fire.
I'm on absolute fire.
Yeah, I'd say to me to edit right now some fire on me, but I don't have the effort to do that. I'm not going to find a green screen video to do. I'm not going to do that. But that about wraps up this episode. So, what are your final thoughts on Series 1? Feel free to let us know down below if you didn't let us know last week. It'd be very, very cool. But remember, our poll first off. What was the poll question? Yeah, is Docky Who allowed? Can we say Docky Who or not?
Yes.
I say no.
Yes,
Crispy says yes.
Hashtag yes, Docky Who.
Yeah. I know people on Twitter that say Docky Who, and I don't like calling it that. You call it what you want, fine, but I don't like calling it that myself. I am respectful, but also not using of it myself.
Yeah, fair.
I respect you for your views and opinions, Crispy. Unlike every other person on the internet when they talk to each other. But personally, I would not use stocky hero as a term, you know?
Thank you for saying it like that,
and
Troy.
reasonable and
Thank you for saying
mature
it
on
like
this
that.
podcast.
Absolutely. The most mature podcast out there.
Unrelated, you stink. I don't want to talk to you ever again. I hate you.
You smelly boy.
You made that much worse. You made that much worse. But yes, thank you all very much for listening. Remember, we have got a poll and a Q&A, so you need to let us know your favourite episodes of Doctor Who.
Yes,
It's
what
kind
he
of like
said.
how Dorian said it in the end of Series 6. Doctor
Who?
Yeah, you know? It's a great
Nice.
little reference there.
Good stuff. God,
Good
we're good at
stuff. We know a lot about this show. It's why we're both single and
you know
and depressingly alone.
What? Yes.
Yes. Private Life
Yes.
Crispy gonna creep in here?
And that's a plot twist, or should I say a cliffhanger. Thank you very much.
I know what he's talking about, and none of you do. I'm a better friend to Crispy than all of you guys.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it
Wrap
up.
it up now.
I was going to actually leak your address as well at the end of it. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, right.
He lives
Give it a
at
go.
123 Yellow Brick Road, G'day, Australia. In
No, it's 42 P. Sherman Wallaby Way, or whatever the hell it is in Finding Nemo.
I was going to go West Wallaby Street next for Wallace and Gromit, you know?
Oh, nice.
Wallace and Gromit is goated. Goated show. Speaking of goated shows, Doctor Who is amazing. Thank you all for listening and watching, and we will see you all next week with our favourite Doctor Who episodes. And after that, our first guest will be coming on the show in episode 13.
Oh my god, what?
Our first tease.
Who is it, Troy? Who is it?
Don't
tell him. Don't tell him.
Don't tell him. It might not be
Who
what
is
you're
it, Troy?
expecting, but we've got a
Don't
pretty
tell
cool
him.
thing cooking. It'll be nice, you know? It's cooking. I don't know what that symbol is. I guess you're stirring the pot, but
I'm stirring the pot.
you're stirring the pot. Well, on that pot stirring note, we'll see you all next Saturday with a new episode of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all soon. Peace.
Allons-y, baby.
Allons-y, baby.